Everyone, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master, and today we are going to explore MOX AMBER Merfolk. But before we get into that, we're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com, your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And I have new patrons supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much to the patrons. So I would like to thank very much to Douglas Pictou, who actually raised his pledge on Patreon. Thank you very much. Then we're going to thank new patrons, Brandon Converse. We're going to thank Jonathan Taves, Zephyr Caladrias, and AJ Pina. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and for supporting Merfolk. So, viewer Ben White had a vision, and that vision was MOX AMBER in Merfolk. And that's what we're going to explore today. So, he wanted me to make he didn't really give me a deck list. He's like, Nikachu, we must make MOX AMBER work in Merfolk. What would it look like? So, at first, you know, I did explore the possibility of MOX AMBER like a long time ago when I made the Wooburg video, but unfortunately, you need to have the legendary creature in play already to get value out of MOX AMBER. It's a legendary artifact, and it reads, add 1 mana of any color among legendary creatures and planeswalkers you control. So you need the legendary creature in play already before you can get any mana. And when you play something like Kumena, Tyrant of Arazka, or Jori N, like, you can't really make much use of that mana. I mean, there's nothing even let's say you play Kumena and then you play MOX AMBER. Like, what can you do with that 1 mana? How does it replace something like Ether Vial? What's the value? And sure, Jori N was a card that, you know, in the late game, you could play a creature, then play MOX AMBER and draw a card, which is something you can't do with Ether Vial. But is it really worth it? I don't know. So at first, we need to have legendary creatures in place. So the first 2 are going to be Sig River Guide, which is actually not too bad with MOX AMBER because you can play Sig River Guide and then by turn 3, or for example, you could play this thing on turn 3, play MOX AMBER, and then boom, you've got the ability to target Merfolk you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. You're going to have that white and a colorless up. So you can treat Sig as a 3-drop that's going to make it hard for those removal heavy decks to kill our creatures. Not to mention, Sig already has built-in Island Walk, which is going to be great. So we actually have even more Island Walk than we normally do in the deck. And then, of course, we have Sig River Cutthroat, which is a sort of a win more card overall in Merfolk, because if you're able to deal 3 damage to your opponent, then this thing might as well be something else. So it implies that no one could kill the Sig River Guide, and if they can't kill the they couldn't kill the Sig River Cutthroat. If they can't kill Cutthroat, then they couldn't kill a Lord or a Master of Waves or something. So this thing might as well have been some other creature. And we're going to play with Kopala, Warden of Waves, which is a legendary creature ability, so we can protect our Merfolk while activating MOX AMBER for the future. But unless I made some aggressive splash into green, into red, it felt very awkward. There didn't look like a lot of ways for me to turn on MOX AMBER, so then I started looking up just what are blue creatures at converted mana cost 2 or less that we can use. And boom, we got Naban, Dean of Iteration, which is going to work perfectly in this deck. It's possible this thing should be a 4 of. I just have 3 in here, because most of our deck is like wizards anyway. Like Silvergill Adept is a wizard, so we're gonna, if you don't know what Naban does, and a lot of people have asked me, Nikachu, where is your Naban Merfolk video? Where is it? Well, guess what? We hit 2 birds with 1 stone. We've got MOX AMBER, and we've got Naban in the same deck. It's a legendary human wizard. If a wizard entering the battlefield under your control causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. What it means is, if something triggers, you get 2 triggers. So when Silvergill Adept enters the battlefield and she is a wizard, you're going to draw 2 cards. When Harbinger of the Tide enters the battlefield, if there are 2 tapped creatures an opponent controls, we bounce both of them. Merfolk Trickster is going to tap 2 creatures, and here's the nut draw. Turn 2 Naban of Iteration, turn 3 Mox Amber into Master of Waves, and get double the tokens. So we get from Naban to Master of Waves, we're going to get 4 tokens off of this Master of Waves. It is crazy. So Master of Waves can get super huge with a Naban out. It's going to be nuts. And I think that's the payoff that we can make with Mox Amber. We're going to play multiple 2-drops on one turn, and we're also going to get things like Master of Waves on turn 3, which is something that we can never do with Ether Vial. And now, because I'm playing with no 1-drops, I'm going to play with Chalice of the Void. Like, we have no 1-drops, so we're going to be really slow on turn 1. So in order to compete with some decks that would roll over us, like Storm, for example, or Infect, we're going to have Chalice of the Void in the deck. We're going to be very harsh on our opponents with Chalice of the Void. Aside from that, I think we have just a bunch of stock Merfolk. I have a weird mana base in order to cast everything. Playing with Unclaimed Territory so that we can somewhat reliably get Sig River Guide in play. I might be overdoing it here, but aside from that, we're mostly mono blue. We are going to play with mostly Artifact Disruption, a colorless disruption package of Dismember. We're going to play with the last Chalice of the Void. We're going to have Relic of Progenitus. And because I'm not playing with too many counterspells, we still need maybe a few more answers to Storm and Tron, and that's what we have the Damping Sphere in here for. Normally, a lot of people ask me, how's Damping Sphere in Merfolk? Well, like, counterspells work really well as it is. But in addition to that, if you're going to play with Damping Sphere to beat Tron or Storm, you might as well play with Chalice of the Void, which is just a really knockout card. It just destroys them. But do you know what? We still need we need a little bit more disruption, and we're not playing with counterspells, so boom, we're going to play with Damping Sphere in addition to that. And we're going to play with some Spreading Seizes. We're going to side them in against any deck that it's relevant against. I'm hoping to go wide game 1. Like, I'm hoping to play things like Naban and Merfolk Trickster to clear the way for our creatures, but of course there's going to be some matchups where we're going to need the Spreading Seas to disrupt our opponent. I mean, of course we're going to bring this in against Tron. We need Spreading Seas to push Island Walk in quite a few matchups, so we can't forget about Spreading Seas. And I noticed that with a little bit of playtesting, we don't have too many blue sources, but we will get there by turns like 5 and 6, and we don't necessarily need to play Spreading Seas on turns 2, 3, or 4. So we can be a little patient with Spreading Seas until we're ready to play it and then attack in with Island Walk. All right, so this is Ben White's Vision. Let's get to our league. We lost the die roll. We have a double Mox Amber hand, which actually means we can play a turn 4 Master of Waves if we draw a land in the next 2 turns, because we can go Sig River Cutthroat into like Mox Amber, add a mana, play the second Mox Amber, play Master of Waves. Do you know what? We have 19 lands in the deck. Maybe it's not something that we can rely on. Maybe a bit too risky, but the payoff is there. The payoff is definitely there. Okay, we're gonna mulligan. This hand is just trustworthy. We'll keep it. There's like no way we can cast this right now, so we'll put Master of Waves on the bottom. We're up against a Breeding Pool deck. Noble Hierarch. So could be well, if it's Infect, we're gonna just hopefully thrash them. I'll play Unclaimed Territory. We'll name Merfolk, and we'll pass. It's not to say, well, yeah, we're very likely to thrash them. Well, okay, so now there's a bit of a problem. There's an Infector on the board, and it's a 5-turn clock. Not to mention, there are pump spells that can get through Chalice of the Void, like Become Immense, so we have to hope that our opponent doesn't have any of those cards. Sig is pretty good, so next turn we can play Sig into Lord of Atlantis and really get our game going. That's why we have the Unclaimed Territories, so that we can cast things like Sig. So we're going to play the Chalice of the Void on 1. Not to mention, if our opponent has Pendelhaven, then it's a 4-turn clock. But maybe we can race them. Maybe we can race them. Oh, our opponent has Spell Pierce for our Chalice of the Void, so we are probably in a lot of trouble now, because it's going to be very hard to race an Infect player. Especially when they have a lot of mana available. But this is very interesting. They are not activating their Inkmoth Nexus, so I don't know what this means. Maybe they have just a lot of disruption? It's very unusual, in my opinion. Like, we're tapped out. They could go for a they could go for some free Infect mana. So, if they do have more Spell Pierces, let's play our Mox Amber right now, see if they're going to counter that. Because if they counter that, then I'd rather play the Lord of Atlantis instead. Okay, let's play Sig River Cutthroat. Oh, sorry, Sig River Guide. I'm sorry if I'm naming... Okay, we're calling it the River Guide. Forget Sig. This is the River Guide. Sig is going to guide us to victory. Merfolk, so we're going to have... We're going to have a great attack next turn. Not sure what our opponent is waiting for. They could have Dismember in their hand. So we might see a Dismember on one of our creatures. Okay, now our opponent is going in for some Infect damage. Yep, okay. So we might desperately need a Harbinger of the Tides or something. Or Merfolk Trickster. One of those would be fine. And remember, you can Merfolk Trickster like after they attack, because then it will just turn into normal damage. So let's play Silvergill Adept, I guess, off of this. Show Lord of Atlantis. We'll play our Silvergill Adept, hopefully draw... even Harbinger of the Tides would not be too bad, because bouncing the Noble Hierarch will choke our opponent's mana, and if they don't draw a mana source, then they might not be able to do very much with this Inkmoth Nexus. And we are running the maximum of Silvergill Adepts, and... sorry, we're running the maximum of Harbinger of the Tides and Merfolk Tricksters. So we didn't draw that. Let us... Is there any way we can bluff interaction? Let's say, because we just showed a Lord of Atlantis. Let's say we attack for 5, our opponent goes down to 13. We do have lethal next turn with our 2 Lords, so... Oh, actually, this might have been a mistake. I should have tapped... The idea of Mox Amber is so that we can hold up this ability. Okay, so I'm going to bluff some interaction. Hopefully they don't go for the kill. And they don't know that we have 2 Lords in our hand. 2 Lords are lethal. If our opponent plays a land, we're probably supremely dead. They'll pretty freely at least play 1 pump spell. Okay, they're activating the Inkmoth. Will they go for the kill here? Will they go for it? They get the Exalted trigger. No blocks. Maybe I should take some time to make them think something bad is about to happen. Alright, so we were able to bluff our way through that. Hopefully they don't have a Dismember. Well, now we actually have Harbinger of the Tides, but I don't think that's going to matter. I think we should just go for the win. Okay, let's say they have Dismember and they kill our Lord of Atlantis. They go down to 9. They'll take... they still take 10, so that is going to be game. Or maybe not. They go down to 1. Maybe they just go down to 1. Well, either way, I don't want to give them another turn, so let's just play our creatures, and hopefully that's enough to win the game. Yeah, if they have Dismember, they can Dismember Lord of Atlantis, and they actually don't die. Alright, so looks like holding up the mana, representing some sort of interaction, paid off. So against Infect, we definitely want this Chalice of the Void. We definitely want the Dismembers. We have so much interaction, we may not want this. We may not need that many spreading seizes against Infect. It's not relevant. We'll definitely take out Master of Waves, and we'll take out Kopala, Warden of Waves. We'll keep Dean Naban, Dean of Iteration, in our deck to really ruin them with Harbinger of the Tides. Like, we can bounce 2 Noble Hierarchs. Merfolk Trickster can tap down multiple creatures. We'll keep Sig, River Cutthroat, and Sig. The River Guide is going to be great just because it has natural Island Walk. That's great. You don't need to play more Merfolk in order to enable it. So we can take out maybe. Let's take out maybe just 1 Sig. It's going to make all our Mox Ambers worse now that we've taken out 3 legendary creatures, but I think it'll be okay. You know, these games play out very long. I think we'll be fine. And we just have so much interaction in general that I don't think that Inkmoth Nexus is going to be that dangerous. What we could do is actually take out 1 Mox Amber and bring in 1 more Spreading Seas. Or maybe that's where we have the Sig back here. Sig, River Cutthroat. Drawing cards, not too bad in this matchup because the games will go, if we are stabilizing, the games will go a little bit long. We could use those cards. Whoops. Coaster flew away. Our hand is great. We can deal with any turn 1 play. I'm going to keep this. And we have a Chalice of the Void. Our opponent does nothing. And remember, we have this Hollowed Fountain in our deck so that we can activate the River Guide's ability. Our opponent did nothing. Merfolk. Alright, so ideally, they just tap out for Blighted Agent. We dismember the Blighted Agent, then we're going to slam a Chalice on 1. And then hopefully they just snap Resign to it. Definitely a chance where they might just play Glistener Elf. Oh, yeah, they do play the Blighted Agent. And I do believe that we are dismembering this thing. And another good thing is that they're completely open to like they can't protect themselves from Chalice of the Void with Spell Pierce. That's just not happening. So Chalice of the Void is going to resolve. And they're going to have to depend on Blighted Agents and Inkmoth Nexuses to close out the game. Which is possible, by the way. I mean, it's happened. I somehow get the feeling like my opponent is seeing Dismember for the first time in their life. What is this? What? 1 mana? Kill my creature? Maybe they have a bunch of... Maybe they have 3 Mutagenic Growths in their hand, and they didn't want to burn them all right then and there. So we're going to pay the life, because we love paying life. We're actually in range of dying to, say, a Noble Hierarch, if that were to happen. But, actually, another thing that could happen is they play Blighted Agent. There comes some turn where we are going to, like, try to Merfolk Trickster it post-combat, and then they become immense and kill us with normal damage. That's possible. But right now, we've put the hurt on our opponent. They are super far behind. And yeah, they see the writing on the wall and we win. So yeah, Chalice of the Void, definitely something we need in this deck that's a little slow and clunky. So we need some of those free wins against Infect and Storm, stuff like that. Alright, let's go on to match 2. So this hand looks great. We're going to keep this. We have nothing to... Well, our deck has nothing to do on turn 1. But the point is that things like Naban, followed up by Merfolk Trickster, hopefully can pull us back ahead. We're staring down at a Spire Bluff Canal, which could be bad news. Hopefully it's not. It could mean Storm. But you know what? Maybe we can like draw into some Chalice of the Voids with our with the 2 cards we're going to draw off of Silver Gilt Adept. So with Shivan Reef, I mean, Blue Moon doesn't play Shivan Reef, so we are definitely up against Storm. So what are we going to name with this Cavern of Souls? Everything is a wizard right now, so let's name Wizard. I don't want our opponent to remand our Naban. That would be terrible. Some chance our opponent is going to burn a Grape Shot on this thing. Our deck is also completely concealed at the moment. They have no idea we're playing Merfolk. Well, I don't know. You know what? I'm Nikachu, so they can... It's like, oh, it's Nikachu. I'm definitely up against Merfolk. Nothing else. All right, let's get in for some damage. Nothing wrong with that. I don't want to attempt to play Silver Gilt Adept and then they bolted in response. So get some value while you know you can get some value. And we will go ahead and play Silver Gilt Adept. Real Merfolk Trickster. Merfolk Trickster will not be a surprise to our opponents. And yes, this will be worth 2 cards. Right, so our opponent is going to go for a Ritual Gifts Ungiven. Which, you know, it's not really much we can do about in game 1 with our limited interaction here. Well, maybe. I mean, we do have Merfolk Trickster, so if they go... Well, no. Okay, so if they play Baral on their main phase, we don't really have a good opportunity to Merfolk Trickster. Maybe in response to a Past in Flames. So, no matter what, they want one of these guys. I guess I'm going to put these guys in the graveyard, making it really hard to cast Past in Flames, and they're going to have to pay 2 life to put one of these cards back on top of their library. I don't know if that's the best, you know. This is sort of a thing where I might have to deeply look into what is the best thing to do. Oh, Chalice of the Void. If we get one more turn, we're in business. And Harbinger of the Tide's not bad. I'm going to try to keep my life total as high as possible. Or do I want to play a Flooded Strand just to represent... If I play Unclaimed Territory, it's impossible. Like, they're not close to dead, so they might want to wait one more turn before they combo kill me. If I play Unclaimed Territory, they know for sure I can't counter anything. It's impossible. Whereas at least if I have Flooded Strand out, I can represent Spell Pierce. So they might wait a turn before they go for the combo kill. So at their upkeep, they're going to Noxious Revival. You know, like I said, they're not going for it this turn. They're going to wait. They're going to be patient. Okay, so let's get in for some damage. So their hand is Past in Flames and a Brawl. Interesting, they don't play the Brawl. But that might be a function of they don't want it to get vulnerable to... they don't want it to be vulnerable to Dismember. They weren't ready to combo off, so that actually might mean they don't have a ritual in their hand. Or they don't have a way to make blue mana? Yeah, there's no Manamorphose in the graveyard, so there's no way to combo off at the moment. So Chalice of the Void on 1 or 2. If you put it on 2, it sort of wins the game, because they can't use Manamorphose and they can't use rituals to win. On the other hand, they can remand that, whereas if we play Chalice on 1, it's very strong anyway. And if they remand it, it doesn't matter. Well, they only have 2 cards in hand. I think I'm going to go for the... I think if they had remand, they would have used one of them already at some point. So let's go for Chalice on 2, which is just ultimately like the knockout blow. And we have Cavernous Souls to keep playing things on 2 anyway. Not a big deal for us. Now they cannot play their Baral. They can't play anything. I don't know if they main deck Echoing Truth, but they can't play that either. They can't... I do know I think they have Unsubstantiate in their main deck, so they can't use that. I don't think actually... I can't remember how Unsubstantiate works. Okay, Past in Flames. You can't play Ritual. You can play that. You can play Opt. Our clock is about to get fast and furious. Then we're gonna get the Kopala out, and we're gonna make it like super hard for our opponent to combo off, or sorry, like even just to play a few cards and then, oh, Master Waves is pretty good too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play the Kopala though. It's just better on our mana. Actually cancel all that. Gonna leave up some blue mana. Cavernous Souls, Merfolk. So we are threatening lethal. Here's Merfolk Trickster being played through the Chalice of the Void, but that's okay because Cavernous Souls says these cards cannot be countered. So Chalice of the Void, I mean, Chalice is pretty good in Magic right now, in Modern. It's always been good in Magic. So we're definitely going to bring in the last Chalice of the Void. And we'll bring in Damping Sphere because it's the card to experiment with, I guess. We're going to be bringing in some number of relics. It's a very good card in this matchup, but we've got these real knockout blows like Chalice of the Void. And do you know what? If we have Chalice of the Void on 1 and we draw Relic of Progenitus, no big deal. Chalice on 1, most of the time, is just going to win the game anyway, so it's okay if it makes some cards that we draw obsolete. We have to take out... probably have to take out Kopala, not very good. We'll take out... probably most of the Master of Waves. I think we're going to keep all the other cards. Take out maybe 1 Mox Amber because of the legendary... we took out some of our legendary creatures. I think I'm willing to keep everything else. So we have to bring in 1 more card. Bring in some number of Dismembers. We still have a lot of creatures in this deck. We could probably afford to take out like a Harbinger of the Tides or something. Let's take out a Harbinger. Bring in 2 Dismembers. Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's see if they can get through all the hate. They're definitely going to be bringing in artifact removal or destruction, so... but we've got Damping Sphere. And if you want to know how this interacts with Storm, like if a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces colorless mana of any type and amount. But each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell that player has cast this turn. So let's see how well this card works out in... against Storm. Let's see how it works in Merfolk. You know, do you want some budget alternatives to beat Storm? This might be it. Let's go check it out. I would say we have so many powerful knockout cards in our deck, like Chalice of the Void, that this hand is not worth keeping. Like, We cannot beat a gold fishing hand from Storm, so we should at least mulligan once. I don't want to keep like a normal creature based hand. We should at least mulligan once for a slightly better hand. So here we at least have a Dismember, which is a little bit more interaction than we would have had normally. I'm willing to keep this hand. Has only unfortunately one land. It's not that great, because even after we hit that land, we're going to still need to tap out in order to get our game going. Fortunately, we have Merfolk Trickster, so we can play that at end of turn. But we do have a piece of disruption, so I'm willing to keep this. Naban, we're going to put you on the bottom. Could argue to go to 5, but do you know what? This hand is full of 2-drops. I don't mind keeping it. Here we're going to play Merfolk, and we're going to pass. And it's possible that after we kill the Goblin Electromancer, after we kill the Baral, that we are going to we're going to give ourselves a little bit of time to catch up against Storm. But ideally, it'd be nice to draw land and then go into Cavern, like get into Chalice of the Void territory. So we're going to play Merfolk. And I guess the first thing that we probably should play is Lord of Atlantis. Because we had these two lords in our hand, Lord of Atlantis and Master of the Pearl Trident, we had to name like Merfolk with this thing. So there, our opponent is playing Baral. Can they combo off here? And they're gonna try. Here's Metamorphose. Here's Grape Shot. Okay. That's some good news. I feel like that's a good thing. Because that's a lot of resources to slow our game down. They might have done that because they already have a Past in Flames in hand. They want to try to get some value out of that Past in Flames. So I guess at their upkeep, we are going to try to Trickster the Brawl. I'm trying to adjust my screen here. We'll name Wizard with this one, so that we have a way of casting the ban if we ever cast it. And the reason you want to be trickstering Baral at their upkeep is because if they try to combo off, they can't float like Past in Flames is a sorcery, so even if they created a bunch of rituals at their upkeep, they can't float the mana to their main phase in order to play Past in Flames. Ooh, that is a great one. That is a good one. So we got Relic of Progenitus. Really powerful card in this matchup. And we're going to play it. Let's start exiling things immediately. I'm not going to play a creature here because I want to always have the ability to crack this Relic of Progenitus in response to a Past in Flames. But next turn, we're going to be able to play things like Master of the Pearl Trident or Sig River Guide and hold up the Relic of Progenitus. Well, there's Mox Amber. So maybe we just play Sig, hold up Mox Amber. Okay, let's start by exiling our opponent's graveyard. For every single card we can exile, that makes us much stronger. Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to play Sig River Guide. If I play Master of the Pearl Trident, it doesn't help too much. If I play Sig River Guide into Master of the Pearl Trident, we might be able to set up, like if I draw another land, then we can set up a situation where we're constantly protecting our cards with Sig while also holding up Relic. This one has to be white. Get our Mox Amber in play, so now we have protection to our creatures. Although, to be honest, I'm not going to protect the creatures. Just going to let them die. It's very important to keep the mana up for Relic. Oh, my brother has arrived! Insert, like, cheering audience roll. Yay! We're playing Mox Amber Merfolk.
Shout out to Kevin from Fusion Gaming.
Oh, yeah? Bumped into him on the bus?
He sat in front of me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He was wearing his Fusion Gaming t-shirt. He was on his way to work.
So you knew.
Yeah.
Fusion Gaming, favorite local game store. Our opponent is definitely not running the hottest here.
What round?
This is round 2.
Of
the league. Oh, this is game 2 of round 2. We're already up a game. We're playing Mox Amber Merfolk.
Is this the deck that somebody's paid you?
Oh, yeah. That's right. And if you want to know how you can get me to play your deck, you can figure that out in the description below. There's some details how to contact me. So the great thing with having, like, 2 toughness creatures is that even if they Lightning Bolt the Master of the Pearl Trident, that's not a big deal.
What's the gimmick of this Merfolk variant?
We're playing legendary creatures so that we can play Mox Amber.
Alright.
That's right. It's there. It's there. We're representing... Well, we definitely have Relic of Progenitus mana up, but it's also representing, Counterspell mana. I don't know if they think we have Counterspells in this deck, but whatever. So they're just going to burn all their rituals. Gifts ungiven. Okay.
No deprive for that.
No deprive. But we have the Relic. It's okay. So Gifts ungiven, going to put cards in the graveyard, and that's what the Relic is for. Hopefully they're going to pass priority to us.
Oh, it's hot out there.
Oh, it's a hot one. It's getting hot in this world.
Yeah.
Global warming.
There's something wrong with the ventilation in the cat rooms of the Humane Society, so it really stinks.
My brother, also a huge fan of bunnies, volunteers his time at the Humane Society.
There's one rabbit there right now.
Is Humane Society like a global organization?
It's an international thing, yes.
Right, so everyone knows what the Humane Society is. It's not
There's an international network in Canada and the United States.
a local thing. So you Europeans and Asians out there, and Africans and South Americans, it's like an animal shelter. They do their best to try to sell these animals.
At a loss. Total loss. No profit.
Well, how does it sustain itself?
Donations.
Just purely through donations? Just like this channel. Those donations matter, people.
What's it taking so long?
My opponent's gonna lose and he just doesn't know what to do about it. How will I lose this game? They ask. All I know is I'm about to win the game with Mox Amber on the board.
1 mana of any color among legendary you control.
0 mana. Beautiful picture, too. That's cool. I love it. Oh, you want to get rid of my Mox Amber that bad, huh? So I guess what I want to do... Ooh, you've got a braid in here. This is actually a pretty clever... This was pretty good. This was a smart Gifts Ungiven. And I don't know what's the last card in their hand. So I don't want to give them a braid. I don't want to give them anything.
Just resign.
Maybe I put the Manamorphose and the pieces... Like, the card advantage is there. So I can put Manamorphose and pieces of the puzzle in the graveyard. And if they play Past in Flames, then I exile everything. But they might have two modes of this Past in Flames. They can cast it for 3. So what they can do is... they have 3 mana floating, so they can abrade, say, Master of the Pearl Trident. Past in Flames and abrade something else. Annoying. So I sort of want to put the abrade in the graveyard. Well, maybe I put the abrade in pieces of the puzzle. Those are the high impact spells, and they can just draw a random card off of Manamorphose. I guess that's okay. But they draw 2 cards off of Past in Flames. But I don't want to play pieces of the puzzle. That would be a catastrophe. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library. Put up to 2 instance or sorcery cards from among them into your hand. The rest into your graveyard. That's a strong card. I know that's really strong. I've been there. Okay. It's a strong one. It was a great Gifts Ungiven. They did a good job. Yeah, we're gonna crack the relic now. Or I guess the best thing to do is to use the unclaimed territory. Now we can't even bluff counter magic. So now they can abrade. Or I guess, yeah, do you know what? They can play Metamorphose, that's fine. Oh, they just resigned.
Didn't have it.
Yeah, I put the abrade in the graveyard. I don't know, I think that's a bit premature. I mean, I don't have lethal on the board. I mean, I need one more lord. What would happen? What would happen? No, it wasn't going to happen. We would get the Naban Dean of Iteration. But it had nothing to do. All right, so now let's go to game 3. So we lost the die roll here, which is unfortunate because this hand is pretty slow, but we're going to keep it. Hopefully Merfolk Trickster helps slow our opponent down so we can catch up. Go maybe like turn 3 Lord of Atlantis into turn 4 Sig River Guide into Master of the Pearl Trident. Up against another Misty Rainforest deck. Is Infect on its way back? That's the question. Is Infect back?
No.
Okay. You heard it here first, people.
It's not in the metagame. Gone. Nobody cares.
Turn 1 Glistener Elf is crying right now. So our opponent had Misty Rainforest, but they played a Temple Garden. Good diversion fetch. We could be up against counters. Oh, another Misty Rainforest. This is like Bennett Nightfall. Actually, I think who was it? Aaron Burrich was playing a Bant Infect deck. Scavenging Ooze, okay.
It's like the crappiest card. What other than gaining +1 for sucking up something from the graveyard, what else does it do?
Gain life.
Oh.
And get bigger. It gets bigger for each creature.
Yeah, I know that.
It kills.
I know. Is that it?
What else do you want this card to do? Look at all the text on this thing. And it only costs 2 mana. That's a lot of stuff. You know, we beat that Storm player because of our graveyard hate. And that is graveyard hate attached to a creature. If only I could have that attached to any of these damn creatures. You guys are worthless. Gotta use Relics of Progenitus to deal with that stuff.
So whenever I see Scavenging Ooze, it's just always a pathetic thing that gets destroyed real quickly. But a lot of people play it.
So we're going to start off with Naban, because there we're going to get 2 triggers off of Merfolk Trickster going into the future. Hopefully we can get a nice payoff with this guy. And you know what? If our opponent is scared of it and plays Path to Exile, that's fine too, because that will help ramp us. We could really use that 4th land anyway to just play multiple creatures a turn. Read it. Go read it. That's right. Voice of Resurgence. That is awful. Because now I don't even want to play things at instant speed. So now I feel like my Naban is not nearly as strong. It still does stuff, but it's just not as good. Are we the beatdown or not? Probably not. Well, here's the thing. Naban's going to be really good if we can get like Harbinger of the Tides. You know what? I think we're not. I think we're in trouble, but I'm willing to take this damage to just take a few more draw steps to see if Naban we can get more value out of Naban. Because and there it is. That's what I'm talking about. So let's see what we draw off of Silvergill Adept. Because that's what I'm talking about. Okay, we'll reveal Master of the Pearl Trident. So Silvergill Adept is going to draw 2 cards here.
2?
Yes, that's the thing. Naban triggers your wizards twice. So if we draw a Master of Waves, that will stabilize the board super fast. There's a Kopala. We are going to be able to play 2 things a turn next turn. I'm probably going to use the Silver Eel Adept to try to trade with the Scavenging Ooze next turn.
Naban good.
Naban good. That's right. Naban good. Play our Pluto Delta. We'll fetch our Hollowed Fountain because we do have a Sig in our hand. What do you think, guys? Does Naban deserve its own video? Let me know in the comment section below.
How many wizards do you play with?
Lots. Master of Waves is a wizard, so you get double the elementals.
That's brutal.
This is a wizard. Tap 2 things at the same time. Harbinger's a wizard. You bounce 2 things.
Jesus Moses.
Holy moly.
How long has this card been around?
It's from the newest set.
Oh, okay.
So, like
so it's
a month
new.
or so.
It's very new.
It's very new, yeah.
Human wizard.
Not a merfolk, but...
Close enough.
Yeah.
And it's only 2.
Perfect. Now do it again. What a flavor text.
I think Naban should just be part of the family now. Permanently.
So here's the good news. Our opponent has played a breeding pool. Which means we can... well, we have Island Walk, but I'll tell you what this means. This looks like Spell Queller. It stinks like a Spell Queller. There's a Ghost Quarter. Not really happy to see that. It's going to turn off Sig. This also could... Well, I mean, this definitely means Collected Company right now. So let us start off with... Well, we can't trigger anything anymore, so...
Play the Trickster and tap 2 of his lands, so he can't do it.
Trickster only taps creatures.
Oh. Is Merfolk a wizard?
No, soldier. Everything's a wizard except Master of the Pearl Trident, Lord of Atlantis, and Merfolk, and Kira. Okay, there's Collected Company, as prophesized. Are they going to hit Spell Queller? They do hit Spell Queller. You're a scum. You are a scum, and you know you're a scum. And Tireless Tracker. Tireless Tracker is very annoying. It's very hard to grind through that card. Merfolk. So it's possible a better strategy. Well, what else can we do here? We can attack for 3, but they're going to attack back for a lot more. I think I can still pass. And you know what? In the next coming turns, we can try to Merfolk Trickster the Spell Queller. I know my opponent will get a Voice of Resurgence token. No big deal. And we'll try to block this thing and get our Master of the Pearl Trident back. But I'm definitely in the mood to take the Silver Gill. Ooh, that's bad news. Well, this is tempo.deck. It's also going to be very difficult to beat this sort of deck because of, like, we don't have Ether Vial.
Oh, no. You're dripping.
Oh, well, it's okay. Castic Wolfrun, what's going on here? Now, this is a matchup where I do like Mox Amber, and I think I like Dean of Iteration. Maybe... well, we have to block damage. Damage has to get blocked. One way or another. Oh, whoops! Okay, we're dead. Moving... I guess I had to block the Scavenging Ooze. So we just lost our guy for nothing. Sorry, Nikachu slept at the wheel. What can we do here? We need Harbinger of the Tides. If we drew Harbinger of the Tides, we'd be golden because we can bounce the Spell Queller and like bounce Voice of Resurgence, and then on their upkeep, Merfolk Trickster, like 2 things, and we'd be back in business. So they bounce the Lord of Atlantis. Merfolk. I guess we're just gonna go for a Merfolk Trickster turn. We're going to attempt Merfolk Trickster, the Spell Queller. We're going to take probably... this is not going to work. So what will work? I could play Sig River Guide. Okay, we'll play Sig River Guide. And what we're going to do is just attempt to block some stuff. And we're going to hope for the same turn that I just talked about earlier. We're going to hope to draw Harbinger of the Tides, hopefully bounce all their stuff back to their hand. We're in bad shape, though, because this Tireless Tracker is a beating. It's very hard to beat Tireless Tracker. I hate it. Guessing this deck plays neither Reliquary. Okay, so here's the good news. So this is a lot of damage. Well, I can't block this Tireless Tracker again. We're going to block Voice of Resurgence. What is this? Still 9? So there's like no good way to block anything. There's a bunch of creatures in the... Well, there's one creature in the graveyard that the opponent can eat. Okay, so like let's move back. Let's block like this, I guess. And then we're gonna have to just do a chump blockerino. Merfolk Trickster can target the Voice of Resurgence token and kill it. So that is the bonus that we have with Merfolk Trickster here. Do they have a removal spell? If not, we're trading. So a bunch of stuff at least left the board. That's the good news. Elemental. Big tree man. No scavenging ooze. Oh yeah, look at me. This game is so easy. Well, we can play 3 things. Like we can. 2 Lords and a Merfolk Trickster. Okay, let's try. There we go. Pass. See if let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I'm not Saffron Olive. I don't resign just because it looks bad. Got to play to our outs. Who knows? We might have been in really good shape. That's weird. Oh, they just want a land for the clue. But, you know, we might have been in really good shape if I blocked properly with my Silvergill Adept instead of blocking that Tireless Tracker.
It's always something.
It's always something, that's right. That had been one less thing I had to block up to this point. Oh, here comes the Scavenging Ooze going to town. You see why it's so good? Now can you see why? It's getting bigger. 2 creatures left too.
How many times can he do that?
As much as they have green mana.
Oh,
just costs 1 green. Keep
Nice.
doing it. It's 5/5 now. It's a big boy now. Well, here's a sad truth. I have to sacrifice this thing. Chump, kill. Oh, sorry, no, kill. Then I do have mana for blockers. Double block you. You don't have red mana. That's interesting. You could have had red mana. You could have. But you don't. Alright, so we're still in the game. Weirdly enough. Okay, we're going to kill the elemental. because it's going to lose all abilities. It's going to lose the ability to have power and toughness equal to creatures. And then, how am I chump blocking here? What is the most important creature to get rid of off the board? So this is 4 damage, so I can take... Well, I have to chump block everything. There's 2 tokens on the battlefield. So if I do it like this, both my lords die. There's 2 clues on the battlefield. Unfortunately, I just cannot afford to take any more damage. There's no good blocks, people. There's no good blocks. Alright, let's go. Let's go something.
Lightning bolt.
Yeah, bolt. Bolt! No, that's not good. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, let's concede. Do we still want Chalice? Look, they've got a lot of 2-drops. They've got Scavenging Ooze. They got Voice of Resurgence. Maybe we're going to keep... I don't know. Like, the problem is they're going to bring in a lot of artifact hate. Okay, let's bring in some absolute cards we need. We need Dismember. That's going to be very good. Relic is going to be fine. They're definitely playing with Night of the Reliquary. Let's not BS ourselves. We actually might want some Spreading Seas. I know it showed that they had blue mana in their deck, but do you know what? A deck like this is going to be very careful about how they're going to pull that blue mana out of their deck. They may not even play it going into like in our future games. So the thing is, they're expecting us to have Ether Vial. They're expecting us to have Spreading Seas. So maybe Chalice the Void is just too weak. Even though, like, it could be a good 4-drop. Master Waves is going to be really clunky in this deck. Oh well. Copal is worthless. Sig also not where we want to... Maybe it's okay. Our opponent is playing with a lot of fetch lands, a lot of shock lands. So Sig on the play might show some value. I guess we're just going to remove... Sig River Guide also looks useful. Do you know what? Even though I said it has value, we're going to still take 1 out. And I'm going to keep the rest. And here we go. Hopefully we don't get run over with Relic. The thing is, like, we can still Merfolk Trickster a Neither Reliquary, so we can attack into it, and then if it blocks, Merfolk Trickster it, turn it into a 2/2 and kill it. So we still have interaction against a card like that. Thanks to Merfolk Trickster, I think we have to reevaluate how useful Relic of Progenitus is now in the Merfolk deck. Like, we've got Relic in here for things like Tarmogoyf. We have Relic in the sideboard for things like Neither Reliquary. Sand sucks.
This is good.
No, it's not. Well, I mean, we can't even cast this when we need to cast that in order to cast this. We have a Naban. Sounds not very good either. Well, it's actually, okay, our hand is really good if we get 1 more land. But it needs to be sort of an island. Do you know what? I think we should mulligan 1 more time. We're gonna have to keep it.
Yeah.
Put it on top. Scalding Tarn, go.
You blew it.
They didn't blow nothing. There's Birds of Paradise. And now I'm not fetching because I really need to draw this land off the top of our deck. Actually, let's play... No, we can play Merfolk. It's fine. We're going to get a Hallowed Fountain off of this Scalding Tarn. To dismember this Birds of Paradise or not... Our opponent kept a perfect 4. Like, our hand is not very good. Well, I tell you what we can do. We can reevaluate. Let's see. We'll see what they do. If they don't play a land and they play like a Birds of Paradise, then I can opt to shoot the damn thing. So we can Merfolk Trickster the bird. Because I can just get an island. Unfortunately, Merfolk Trickster, you're not legendary. You're not going to help us with our MOX Amber right now. You're going to be useless. I don't know. Maybe I should have tried to kept that second hand just because it was like really greedy. But damn, it was a hand. Ooh, we have another Merfolk Trickster. Which is interesting because we can attack into this Voice of Resurgence. And then if it dies, it's not that big of a deal. I feel a little bit more inclined to kill this Birds of Paradise. Because we still need to slow the game down. I think we still need to slow this game down. What? So let's...
Don't worry.
Should we attack? If we attack and they block, we can Merfolk Trickster the Voice of Resurgence. And it's a trade. But it's not the greatest trade. I don't think that's a trade we want to make. Okay, let's just be aggressive. To hell with it. Let's do this. Ooh, they don't even block. Interesting, interesting. Interesting, okay. In that case, let's use our mana. Let's dismember this thing. Hopefully they need blue mana. Hopefully they needed that mana. I don't know how important that's going to be. I hope it was important. The only problem with making that dismember play is that it's turned things around. Our opponent is now the aggressor because their life total is just much higher than ours. Ooh, another Voice of Resurgence. That's ugly. Sig River Guide. All right, we're gonna threaten the same thing. Benefit to Sig River Guide is we can get this Mox Amber online. Which is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to play the Mox Amber. Our opponent could play like Reclamation Sage or something. That would be horrible. So I'll play Mox Amber when we draw one more land. Oh, I still might play it next turn. Well, no Spell Queller mana. I don't know. So Misty Rainforest was just last turn, so maybe they don't have anything blue in their deck. They might have taken out the Spell Quellers. Like, Spell Queller is a really hit or miss against Merfolk. Like, we have interaction, like Harbinger and Dismember and Ether Vial, which should make that card bad. Alright, here comes Neither Reliquary. How much more of this damage can we take? Probably still a little bit. But, well, if I block, then I have to play Merfolk Trickster next turn. I don't want to do that. Let's take 4. Let's attempt to draw a land so we can get this Master of Waves in play, sort of stabilize the board. Mind you, we can attack with both these creatures, and if they block with Neither Reliquary, then we're going to kill it. So is that an option? Might be an option right now. Let's play Merfolk. Let's play Mox Amber. I'm going to cast this. So we're going to attack for 4. If neither the Reliquary blocks, we can Merfolk Trickster the neither Reliquary, shrink it, and we still have Mox Amber protection up with the Sig, which is going to be cool. Okay, so here's where we're going to play Mox. We're going to play Merfolk Trickster. I guess we don't have that protection because we have to protect the Sig River Guide first. And we do need to protect the Sig, because if we don't, this Mox Amber becomes worthless. So let's target our Sig. I'm going to pay the white and the colorless. Boom. We might see a Path to Exile here. Hopefully we do not. That's how Magic goes. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Well, at the very least, if there is a Path to Exile, we're going to get our 4th land. That's the bonus.
There it is.
Yeah. The other option was to let pass priority, but then we would lose the Mox Amber, and that was not something I was willing to do. I don't really feel like we're in a situation where we can play around cards. Now, if our opponent doesn't have like more Path to Exiles or Reflector Mage, Master of Waves will stabilize the board pretty well. Opponent goes on the beatdown plan. Let's say we don't do anything. Do we live? Do you want? Let's not risk it. Opponent could like play Birds of Paradise into like what's it called? Into Kessick Wolf Run with this neither Reliquary, and then we can't do anything about it. So our opponent's going to tap out to play Collected Company.
Whiff. Whiff.
It's very rare. More Voice of Resurgences and more neither Reliquaries. Oh, we're 1 mana off. We're 1 mana off from the dream.
So you would have gotten 6.
I would have
7.
gotten 8. 8. Oops.
Get them blockers in anyway.
Yeah, gotta get them blockers in. I don't know how useful they're going to be. So our opponent can look up Kessick Wolfront and a Mountain this turn to give something trample. Something. Oh, that can't. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for playing. Alright, so that was, yeah, our opponent's just going to Path to Exile the Master of Waves and then attack for the win. So that was game 3. Not too bad of a showing. You know, we were close to stabilizing with this Mox Amber. We had to mulligan down to 5. I mean, one thing for sure, this Mox Amber might increase the variance of this deck, but maybe I should be keeping some more greedier hands, especially, we had a 6-card hand that was a bit spicy, but it could have flopped really bad. It's not really where I want to be keeping these 2 landers. But whatever, we're gonna truck on to game 4. Okay, so we finally won the die roll, and our hand is great. If we get a legendary creature, that would help a lot more too. So the bonus is like, you know, Chalice on 1 rips apart a ton of decks in Modern. Yeah. Your hand gets worse. So we'll start off with Polluted Delta. We'll fetch for Hallowed Fountain and then play a Chalice of the Void on 1. Oh, Windswept Heath, another Birds of Paradise deck. So given that this is Windswept Heath, probably Chalice is not going to be best positioned, but it's still going to counter Path to Exile any future mana dorks. Good thing seeing Kopala, because that will activate our Mox Ambers. So if we draw land, I'll definitely play Kopala instead of Master of the Pearl Trident or Lord of Atlantis. And it'll set up turns we can just play 2 cards a turn. What is this? Godless Shrine. We're up against Abzan. Or some sort of Abzan deck. This might be okay, because we're playing, well, I mean, it'll shut off Fatal Push, shut off Path to Exile.
Good.
Or Chalice of the Void. It's not a completely useless bump and lock. Grizzly Salvage! Oh my god, this is a standard all-star. Okay, so reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature or land card from among them into your hand, put the rest into your graveyard. So this looks like an Unburial Rites deck. So what do they show? Oh yeah. Of course! Do they have a Restoration Angel in hand? What do they put? Put a Stirring Wildwood in their hand. Okay, that's fair. This is a Reanimator deck. I think they're trying to get value off of things. Ooh, okay, there we go. And we're set to cast this Master Waves next turn. Okay, we got Naban. Naban is on its way. We have blue mana for Naban. I'll play a Mox Amber. Why not? Okay, pass. You think you have value? We have value. This is the man of value. It's all about value.
Shops at Valley Village.
Absolutely. Thrift stores, Salvation Army. So what we got here? Siege Rhino? Of course. I don't know if your Siege Rhino can compete with what we're about to do to you. Or do we wait a turn? Well, we have Merfolk Trickster. That helps. Because I can play Kopala. Or maybe it's just not worth it. We just get a million Master Waves tokens on the board right now. Or do I attack for... I'm gonna get a lot of tokens, but it's not lethal or anything.
It will be.
Trample. They got Restoration Angel. No, they don't have Restoration. They put Restoration Angel in their graveyard. Although if I play Merfolk Trickster right now, I get in for 4 damage. Go to 16. Is there any way I can win if I just play this Master Waves right now? Let's just... Okay, so if I play Master Waves, I get 8 tokens. That's 16 points of damage. Because the thing is, they're going to be gaining life. They're going to go to 23. Okay, whatever. You know, I may not get a chance to do this again, so let's just do it right now. Hold on, cancel. Okay. Add a blue. Cast. Choose a Mox Amber to keep. Oh, I want to choose this one. Is that another blue?
Sneaky.
That's how it's done.
Floating that blue.
Boom. Alright. We're on board now. That's how it's done! And what we can do is try to, at end of turn, like, I don't know, Merfolk Trickster? Okay, so that's going to get countered. It's too bad.
Have you never played Magic before?
They might not have seen Chalice of the Void before. I mean, it's not often that like someone's going to bring this in against them. No, you may not know what's in my hand.
Well, he's finished. Unload your lords and swing with everything.
This costs 3 to activate, so I'm just going to attack with all the tokens, I guess. I could attack with the band too. Whatever, this is enough. This is a lot of damage. So the thing is, if they activate Stirring Wildwood, then I can, I'll activate Merfolk, I'll just flash in Merfolk Trickster. And, oh, that's fine too. So, Blink Siege Rhino, gain and drain. And now I will, so they can attack for 7, blink again. Hopefully that's not enough. So we get 2 triggers from Merfolk Trickster.
Beautiful.
Oh yeah. No blocking for you. You're taking 16 damage. You're gonna go to 7. I still have blockers. I still have blockers.
For days.
Naban can block now. You've done your job. You've outlived your contract. Is this a Wrath? Oh, it's just Siege Rhino. No big deal. That's it. I have more than 10 power in play. Useful tip. Yeah, you keep doing that. Whoa. That's a sign of strength. What is going on here? What is up there, Slave? Is there some, like, Blink card I don't know about? Sig River Guide is great. I guess we'll play Kopala just to see what's up. And then if nothing happens, because there's 2 mana removal spells, like destroy target non-legendary permanent or something like that.
3, 2, 1.
So you either kill my Master Waves now or never, and I'm going to attack with everything. Kopala, legendary. Unfortunately, no enter the battle. Or sorry, Kopala's a wizard, but unfortunately, no enter the battlefield triggers here. Nothing cool, anyway. But gonna keep that Mox Amber alive when I get that Naban in the red zone.
In the danger zone.
Danger zone, danger zone. Oh, that's useless. Come on, please stop wasting our time. So what is this? I don't even need to calculate this. Come on. Go in there, Master of Waves. Naban and Master of Waves. Awesome combo. Ramped into that with Mox Amber. Do not underestimate Mox Amber in this deck. Don't underestimate it, people.
As long as you have 2 of them.
That's right. So Spreading Seas looks like a good card. We need Spreading Seas.
Spreading Seas is good always.
I might want Relic of Progenitus, because I know this is going to be a graveyard deck. It's hard to tell how good Chalice of the Void was there. I'm certain this deck plays like 4 Fatal Push and Path to Exile. But I do know that their curve is like really high. It's a really high curve. For that reason, I don't think Kopal is that good. Cutthroat. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 3 or more life this turn, you may draw a card. How often is the deck taking damage? Not too much. Harbinger, probably not very good in this matchup. I do not want to bounce a damn thing that they play. That would be terrible. I mean, maybe under some circumstances, but like overall, I don't think it's good. I sort of want to bring Dismember. It's going to be painful, though. Let's trim on a Chalice. I think it's fine to have a few Chalices in the deck, Chalice is, it's just not a card I don't want to flood out on. I'm going to proportion my chalices based on how many 1-drops they have, and for sure they're going to have, like, all the, like, 8 1-mana removal spells.
Can you use Mox Amber to cast Dismember for
Yep.
free?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, maybe not for free, but
Like,
actually for
without-
black mana,
yeah.
yeah, that's definitely, that's possible. We can save some life, yeah. So, let's... Don't think this helps us. I think Relic is going to help us. This has got to be an Unburial Rites deck. Do you know what? I'm going to put my faith that the Relics are more important than the Chalice of the Voids. I also want to put my faith that Dismember is good. In some way. Or form. Maybe a little bit more than Relic. Or the Sig. Okay, we'll try this. I think Kopala is going to be fine. Not great, but fine. Let's do this. If our opponent has a lot of Thought-Seizing Inquisition still in the deck, I could consider keeping the Chalice of the Void. We'll keep Chalice of the Void on the play.
So on the bottom. Didn't like what he saw.
I wouldn't either. Start off with Hollowed Fountain. No.
What does Solid Fountain do?
It's a dual land. For white and blue.
Wonderful.
Don't know what Hollowed Fountain is? It's not
I
like
don't know.
I'm not the only deck that plays this damn thing. Grizzly Salvage, so they have yeah, this is like good old standard deck. So there's Unburial Rites. I'm glad we have the relics.
Somewhere.
Somewhere. Some way.
Buried in that stack.
I remember seeing Saffron Olive play this deck, and I think he went 5-0, but he was just really lucky to play against Death and Taxes decks the entire way, which were useless against this. They were terrible. They just could not... They had no business against this deck. Nothing. They had nothing to do. It was just awful. Yeah, so the Death and Taxes decks just got run over by, like, Siege Rhino and Restoration Angel and Flyers. It was sad. So, they put Overgrown Tomb in their hand. Or I guess, here. How would Day 2 Dryden do it? He would do it something like this. There we go.
Smart. Smarter than you.
Hey, let's not go too far. Let's not be crazy here. Well, definitely have protection from choke. I don't know how much Kopal is going to help us protect our Master of Waves, but hopefully it protects them a little bit.
There should be a difference between playing basics and fancy lands. You should be able to play one of each turn.
Well, here's the thing with Inquisition. It's going to miss the Master of Waves, but it's going to hit the Kopala, which is going to make the Mox Amber useless. Not that we need Mox Amber here. Oh, there's Naban. Oh! I think I'm going to hold on to Naban. I don't want to play this. Or maybe we do.
Get as much value as you can.
I guess we'll play it. We'll put our opponent to the test. We have, like, nothing to do with this card right now. But we are threatening to use it next turn. So if our opponent taps out for, like, Siege Rhino, well, we're going to have a big Master of Waves.
You're going to have a big boy.
Another... Oh, they do have Damnation in the deck. Now, they got Grizzly Sorry, they have Acidic Slime in their deck. That's going to be fine. Even if they Unbarrel Rights, Acidic Slime, destroy one of our lands, we have Mox Amber to cast the Master of Waves. I sort of know this deck because I played this thing in Standard like 5 years ago. They put Stirring Wildwood in their hand. So the Overgrown Tomb is on the battlefield. Stirring Wildwood still in their hand. Here's Satyr Wayfinder. It's a little scary. They got Damnation. Probably have Wrath of God as well. We have no counter spells for these things. Can this deck beat us if we play like a Chalice on 8? Well, Chalice for 4. Okay, so goodbye Stirring Wildwood. Do they put what in their hand? Plains? Doop, boop, boop. Okay. This is interesting. Whatever, talk for 2. Okay, 2 triggers. You can't have Fatal Push. Doing attacking might have been wrong. I wonder if you know what, maybe, well, I'll tell you what. If they blocked with Satyr Wayfinder, I would have played Sig River Cutthroat instead, because by blocking with Satyr Wayfinder, they activated, what's it called? Revolt for Fatal Push. Got a Sweeper? Got a Siege Rhino. It's not quite the same. Everyone loves value.
Well, when you play that second Master Wave, it's essentially over for him.
Our mother loves value. So I think we're going to put him in a situation where you better have... Ooh, Merfolk Trickster.
Tap them both down.
Is this just enough by itself? And we would preserve the Master of Waves, the second Master of Waves. So the only thing we're playing around right now is Path to Exile. This is 16 damage.
Tap them both down, swing with everything.
Yeah, I think that's fine. So if they have Path to Exile, they have Path to Exile. I'll tell you what we can do. Yeah, we're going to tap these 2 creatures down because we get 2 triggers off of Naban. And if they have Path to Exile for Master of Waves...
You got a second Master Waves.
I can play Sig River Cutthroat and draw a card. Well, whatever, you should have just resigned before. I can kill you with just what I have here on the board. Anyway, so yeah, we saw the power of Naban. We saw the power of Master of Waves with Naban. Oh yeah, let's go on to round 5. We have won the die roll, and we have we're on the play, and we have Chalice of the Void, and we can cast it for 2, so that's enough for me. We'll keep this. Real question is, what do we name with Unclaimed Territory? I think we're gonna reserve Judgment on that. We're gonna play Mutavault first, then pass. Flagstones of Tarkir. Alright, so we're up against some sort of... Well, we might be up against some sort of Death and Taxes deck.
Samard, is that you?
Samard, what are you doing here? Alright, so we will play Merfolk. This thing on Merfolk. I'm still pretty committed to playing this thing. Done. So at the very least, we prevent Path to Exile, but the problem is things like Flicker Wisp disable Chalice of the Void. But we still don't know exactly what we're up against yet. Oh, okay, so it's some sort of Soul Sisters deck. It's just weird to have the Raven Inspector in it. Or, what's it called? Martyr Control. Ooh, that's aggressive.
For 1.
For 1. Okay, I'm gonna play Master of the Pearl Trident. So, and then if we draw another blue source, I can play Naban and Lord of Atlantis at the same time, and then hopefully we'll have a knockout blow with our Master of Waves. It's also possible I'll just play like Naban next turn and like attack with Master of the Pearl Trident and Mutavault, and then play Master of Waves. I don't think it's enough damage to play Naban into Master of Waves. Here we go. So what are you? Are you Martyr Control? If they're Martyr Control, our hand's not too bad. Locks down a ton of the good 1-drops, including Martyr of Sands. There's the Squadron Hawk, which I know you have. Yeah, there's one Squadron Hawk. Reveal Squadron Hawk. Oh, yeah, they got another Squadron Hawk. Didn't want to discard to hand size, did you? It's fine. Ooh, I didn't think about drawing things like this. So we'll play our Naban. I guess we're just gonna pass the turn.
Let's get some spicy trigger action going.
Oh yeah. Let's get these triggers going. You hear that? My brother is excited.
Yeah, I like
Double
this,
the fun.
This gimmick is good.
This is a good gimmick. This is how we're gonna make Merfolk great again. We could use Mox Amber right now. Just be told we could use any land right now. Range reveal, so Gideon. See, like, so long as they don't have a Wrath, I think we'd beat all this garbage. Uh-oh. It's getting frisky. It's time to race. They said it's time to race. That's fine. I think we can race you.
More like E-race you.
Challenge accepted. Another Naban.
What'd you get? Oh, no. He's a legendary guy, right?
He's very legendary.
You can only have one?
Can only have one.
Ah, quadruple the triggers. That would be so broken.
Well, there's the Mox Amber. All right, so... Oh, and there's Harbinger of the Tides. We can bounce these stupid fools. Yeah, let's do that. All the getting is good. Slow them down. Speed us up.
Wing.
There's Ghost Quarter. Squadron Hawk. Oh, shoot! How do we beat that? That's going to be a problem. That is going to be a very serious problem. Can have all the creatures in the world. Don't mean dink. Okay, so Master of Waves offline now. So what do I have to do? Deal with these Squadron Hawks? Oh, you have another Gideon? Okay, what's going on here? Put target card from your graveyard on the bottom. Search your library for a Plains card. Well, we have Sig River Guide, so every single turn we can just give a creature protection and attack with it, but it's a very slow clock. Now we really need a lot of mana to get through all this stuff.
Merfolk Trickster's triggers don't work anymore?
No, they're going to work. I was like, okay, I'm going to have Master of Waves, but it doesn't matter because I can only attack. I have to pay 2 mana for each creature that attacks. So I guess the best route to victory is now going to be through Sig River Guide. Undo. And pass. And I'm also probably going to have to spend a turn holding up Merfolk Trickster to block some Squadron Hawks. Kill them. Ghostly Prison is a good card. There's another Squadron Hawk. There's another Squadron Hawk. So I'm going to block 2 of the Squadron Hawks. I don't think we're winning this race. I don't know how we can. We need to rip lands from here. From here on out, we need to rip lands. We have a chance. But we do need to rip those lands. Okay, let's make our creatures big and beefy. Hope our opponent doesn't wrath at any point soon. Just pass. So the point is to let our opponent attack with the Squadron Hawks. And then we're going to block them with Merfolk Trickster. At least 2 of them. So they walk into the trap, if I can call that a trap. So they're going to lose flying. Now the disappointing thing is they can put these cards on the bottom of their library and they still have a Squadron Hawk in their hand. So they can basically keep recycling this stuff. I guess we need a Chalice on 2. That would work. That would work. We need Chalice on 2. It would give us a chance.
You should be able to bump up any Chalice.
Oh, that was a mistake. Or are they going to do this with the trigger on the stack? No. Oh, weird. Okay. So here's the well, now they have no more Squadron Hawks. So what they could do is start putting them on the bottom. Activate this ability only if you control 2 or more white permanents. And they do. They could put the Squadron Hawk on the bottom of their library, play Squadron Hawk, and keep getting these Squadron Hawks like for forever. Land. I just want land from here. It's not land.
It's not bad though.
I'll take it.
You should be able to pump up Chalices that are already in play.
What?
You already have that Chalice on 1. You should be able to tap more mana to pump them up.
Okay,
Up to 2 if you want. But you can only go up, not down.
Okay, we're going to start attacking. This is good because we need to. Could be a close game. We just hit our opponent for 8. So I don't get it. You've put that Squadron Hawk on the bottom of your library, but how do you get it? You're just hoping to draw your Squadron Hawk now? Like, you could have been drawing that Squadron Hawk.
You know when you say a word enough times it loses all meaning?
Squadron Hawk, Squadron Hawk, Squadron Hawk. What are you even talking about? Don't wrath the board. I guess it's fine if you wrath the board. Ranger of Eos. Up to 2 is confirmed cost 1 or less. Yeah, you're useless. Well, you're good as a blocker. I guess that's the dealie. So we still need to draw, like, Merfolk Trickster. Harbinger won't do it. I'll also take a land. There's a Harbinger. It's like worst case scenario, I can bounce these stupid dummies. But I would rather not. Alright, keep attacking. If we had one more land, I think our opponent is under a lot of pressure to win the game. Like, even here, we can attack for a lot of damage.
Come on, land. 3 creatures.
Range review those. Okay. No, we're not out of it. But it's not good. Okay, land would be good, and I'll tell you why. We can attack with Sig. Okay, a land will do it, actually. A land could potentially win, because we can attack with Sig, give it protection from white, so that nothing can block it.
Come on!
Not it. So our opponent gets another turn. We needed to play Harbinger and be able to spend... because we needed 4 mana to attack and pay for this. And if we bounce this, who cares if they replay it? Doesn't matter. So if we bounce this, then... ugh. We're really dead. Why don't you produce mana? It looks like you produce mana. I could just try to attack with 1 creature and see if any blocking will happen. That's possible. Okay, let's attack with Merfolk Trickster. Maybe they'll just let it through. And if they do, excellent. If they don't, uh-oh. So we just need to... we're just hoping our opponent makes a mistake. They do not. The problem is, okay, I bounced this with Harbinger. Like, how do I win after that? After I bounce those darn Squadron Hawks.
You'll think of something.
Well, I will I? Hopefully I rip something. Go find your other Squadron Hawks. Because the thing is, like, even if I rip Merfolk Trickster, I can't tap 3 Squadron Hawks. If I draw a 3rd land, like, they can play 3 Squadron Hawks from here, is the problem. Chalice of the Void doing a lot of work here, in my opinion. Doing a lot of work.
But they come into play tapped, right?
No, they don't.
Oh.
They will not come into play tapped.
I mean, Summoning Sickness.
Well, they can't. Yeah, they can attack, but the problem is, if they have 3 on the board, I can't do anything about them. Like, I can deal with 2 of them, but I'm at 1 life. Is there anything in my deck I don't know about? See, there's the 3rd one, as prophesized.
Dismember?
No, it's not in my deck.
Oh.
Not in the main deck, at least.
Wah, wah, wah.
Well, we were really close. If we ripped a land anywhere, we can't do anything. Stupid ghostly prison. Alright, moving on. Well, Chalice was pretty good there. Let's keep that. They're going to bring in Disenchant, but I think that's okay. Relic is okay, but not amazing. Spreading Seas is good, because it would prevent our opponent from blocking. I believe our opponent has a lot of life gain, so Sig looks... sorry, Cutthroat looks useless in this matchup. If you want to know where I think Sig would be good, I think it'd be in the really aggro matchups. Like, it's a really good blocker early on, so good against goblins. Maybe fine against elves to preserve our life total very early in the game. I think it's going to be good against burn because they're generally taking a lot of damage from themselves. You can also block their goblin guides and swift spears relatively well. Of course, we'll keep it in against Death Shadow and stuff like that. So it's not useless, but we just didn't see the matchups where it would be good. We definitely want Master of Waves, and I definitely think we want to keep Naban. We don't want Dismember because they can... it's just too much value. Too much value. Harbinger of the Tide is not where we want to be either. Copala, are you any good? Maybe not. Hey, Harbinger, you've been promoted. Copala, do we need you? Path to Exile. No, we don't need you. You don't fly either. You're useless. You're not Kira. Stop pretending. I would love to go first. Alright, we'll keep this. I wouldn't say this hand's ideal, but, you know, it's a hand. What else am I going to keep? That Thriven Inspector is really annoying. And I forgot to fetch this. So we're going to take a few more damage than I would like. Or will we? Yeah, we're going to take a few more damage than I would like. I meant to get the Hollowed Fountain, and we need the Hollowed Fountain. So we will start the party off with maybe just a Sig. I have to play a double blue spell. Or I could play Merfolk Trickster, I guess. No, okay, I'm gonna play this guy. Play Sig. If they have an answer for Sig, that's fine. We have a second Sig. We would like to induce some sort of nonsense. Okay, let's get in for 2. And play Naban.
Easy.
Easy game. Fortunately, Naban and Sig, a little bit of a nombo. Not exactly what we want to see. There's Ghostly Prison again. Also not what I want to see. Okay. I'll take it. So the good news is I have a lot of mana. I don't know how useful this... Oh, and we keep drawing mana. That's also good.
Should have some Echoing Truths in the sideboard.
I have nothing that can pump up creatures, so let's just attack.
Would a Braid to destroy the...
Ghostly Prison? No.
Yeah.
Just artifacts and creatures. Ghostly Prison is a beating. No argument there. That is strong. So what does this mean? Wrath?
What about Ghostly Prison comboed with Ensnaring Bridge?
Yes, okay. There is a Wrath. What?
Ghostly Prison comboed with Ensnaring Bridge.
Overkill. So we'll Spreading Seas the Ghost Quarter, because that's the card that can destroy our Spreading Seas. And we'll play Mutavault and probably Merfolk Trickster at the end of our opponent's turn. Mutavault's very awkward in this matchup. We're very awkward with Ghostly Prison on the board, I should say. Because Ghostly Prison... Well, it's like it costs 2 mana to attack and activate, so it's like hardly worth it. Weird that they leave the Cavern of Souls untapped. Them, like myself, are not paying attention to what they're casting. Or they want to cast something uncounterable. I get it, okay. Makes sense. Just in case I have a counterspell. Get the Sarah's Ascendant online. Land? Not land. When you see Ghostly Prison on the board, all you want is land. Just land, land, land. Oops, we'll just do it this way. The good news is we're still getting like a bit of a clock going. It's not that bad. Oh, this Martyr of Sands can help our opponent gain like 1 billion life.
These white decks are gimmicky and brutal.
They are. That is weird. Why do you play your Thraben Inspector first? That's like 3 extra life right there. Tap your Ghost Quarter. Tap your Ghost Quarter. Tap it. Do it. Do it! Yeah, I'll take 3 to the face. So if we get 1 land, I can play Sig River Guide, attack with this Merfolk Trickster, and give it protection from white. We do get a land. Excellent. Now we need some Mox Ambers, because the more... forget it. Forget everything I said about Mox Amber. Not important. Undo. Need white mana. Play the Sig River Guide. So we have some unblockable damage no matter what they do. Should have protection from Ghostly Prison. That'd be something. So getting a steady amount of damage through, not bad. Attacking with 2 creatures would be better.
That's what I thought.
It's too late. Gain 4 life. So what do you have in your hand? Another Wrath of God? Well, that's not good news.
So much for that clock.
What was revealed to me? And you have a Path to Exile. Martyr of Sands, Path to Exile, Wrath of God, and Sarah's Ascendant. So these 2 Sarah Ascendants, maybe I saw them twice already. Okay, so I have perfect information about what your hand is. Let's see if you Wrath. Your hand's not that good. Really. Actually, their hand sucks. We might be able to steal this if they can only draw poorly from here. I've never blocked this.
It's an option, yeah.
If you're going to Wrath, I'm not going to let you get too much value. Okay, if you're not going to Wrath... Okay, I'll tell you what I should... Oh, wow, I made a big mistake last turn. Okay, so what I should do is attack with Island Walk. Pay the 2 first. Well, that was a huge blunder. So I can attack with it. Now they have to blow up the Ghost Quarter. They want to remove the Island Walk. Path to Exile's no good here either. Oh, they're taking away my white source. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, I'll float a white. Yeah, you'd be right.
Things like this.
I do not have a white source in my deck.
Things like this prison should have a turn limit. It's only good for 10 turns, then it has to go to the graveyard. It's too much to just have it permanently there.
They used to have stuff like that a long time ago. Fading. Once the last fading counter's off, goodbye, go to the graveyard.
These things are just too strong.
They don't design these cards anymore. They don't design them like they used to. Back in the day, they always made cards that said, "You can't play Magic anymore." That's how it worked. Back in the day. Well, how do I activate the Sig River Guide? But they have no Ghost Quarter.
What are you talking about?
They threw away their Ghost Quarter. Let's just attack with everything. Who cares? It's a good clock. I will assign like this. I think that's the right thing to do.
What about the spreading seas?
It's still there.
So
they couldn't block this thing. Actually, do you know what? Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, maybe I attacked my my Mass of the Pearl Trident for no reason. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know for sure. Or maybe they're sick of me. Now are they gonna play their Wrath of God? Yeah, I'm going aggressive. That's why I did that. All right, so you Wrath anyway. So I did make a good attack, I guess. So goodbye, Wrath of God. They still have 2 Path to Exile in hand. Is that how it is? Ugh, it's a lot of Path to Exiles. And 2 Serra Ascendants.
That Wrath.
Sorry, 1 Serra Ascendant and 1 unknown card.
That Wrath should have taken away the prison.
Should have. Should be a creature. Land is good, but I am running out of basics. In fact, I think I have 1 left.
How could you be so basic?
Oh, there's Mox Amber. A little late. Okay, we'll pass the turn. We'll play like Lord of Atlantis at end of turn. Sorry, Harbinger of the Tides at end of turn. So you're telling me is I can attempt to block this? Oh, Path to Exile is going to act like a hard removal spell soon. I think our opponent is getting impatient. Well, that's our last basic, so this Blue Delta is going to be like a brick. Oh, I should have just not searched. Whoops. Okay. Gotcha. Should have not searched. Fetch this thing to get that basic. Well, how good is Master Waves here? So we attack for 6. It's not bad. Okay, let's attack for 2. It's just something that's going to draw out the Path to Exile.
Yeah, if he's going to burn it on something, let him burn it on this. Would you have to pay 2 for every elemental?
Yep.
Jeez. Brutal.
Quite brutal. Yeah, brutal. Brutal! Uh-oh, Field of Ruin. That's not good, because it's our opponent now saw that we don't have any more mana. They saw that. Okay, so 2 Path to Exile's gone. Is this the Serra Ascendant from their hand or not? Deitu Dradin is yelling at me somewhere. Chalice of the Void. Do I play it on 1 or 2? I guess 1. 1 is stronger. Oh, by the way, this Chalice is a bit late. After our opponent played 2 Path to Exiles. Oh, that sucks. Okay, so... No, I know there's nothing in my deck. Okay, let's just empty our hand. Oh, well, here's the good news. We're going to bounce the Saracendent. And we're going to play Lord of Atlantis. And we're going to pass. So if I were my opponent, I would Field of Ruin here. Because why not? Thin their deck. And destroy, wasteland me. I think we're going to steal this game. We just need to brick. Oh, no. Oh, Ranger of Eos? Oh, Sun Titan. Oh, Elspeth. That's worse. It's terrible. Okay, create soldiers. Destroy all creatures of power 4 or greater.
Don't have to worry about that.
Oh, we do.
Well, not right now.
We will eventually. There's Naban, which is not good, but not bad. I guess we just kill Elspeth. So if we don't do anything about this, it's just going to kill us. Super quick. What's going on here? What's going on here? I didn't have to pay for Ghostly Prison. You see that? Why didn't I have to pay for prison? Oh, it's for controller. I got it. We can't attack them. But the Planeswalker, no problem. All right, that's good news. I will play the Naban, and we will pass. Okay, 3 more tokens. Fortunately, actually, they could go on the beatdown soon, like really soon.
Like right now.
Yeah. Oh, that was, well, not pleasant, but they can only find 1 mana spells. So that's some good news. But they can draw garbage out of their deck. That was a good draw. Come on, I got this Chalice on 1, and you have a million 1-drops in your deck. Just draw 1-drops. Instead, you draw the Elspeth, you draw the Ranger of Eos. What else are you trying to do? Oh, by the way, I have a Chalice in play. They're actually that Ranger of Eos is serious business. So what do I want to draw? I want to draw Harbinger of the Tides to bounce these tokens. Merfolk Trickster would be fine. Chalice on 2. No, I don't think we're going to do that. The band blocks here, chump block here, take 4, go down to 2. Ugh. Pass. Yeah, we're in danger of dying. Because we're going to go to 2, and they've got 4 attackers, so we need to draw a blocker. We're dead. Oh, come on! Come on! I know we have a decent chunk of 4-drops, or like a higher curve, but come on! Ugh, drawing all the garbage out of their deck. And why do you keep playing these things? Just trying to show me that, like, you don't care? You're the man? Harbinger. No, that's nothing. We're gonna have to... I'm gonna play Mox... Well, you know what? I'm gonna show you what I have. I have a Mox Amber. Dun 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 dun. And... yeah, we're gonna pass. And hopefully bluff something like Harbinger of the Tides. Or Merfolk Trickster. Now you draw a land. Yeah, well played. All right. So at least we went 3-2. Like, it wasn't a pitiful, gross showing for the deck. Let's go back to what Ben White wanted to do. His vision. So I'm telling you, we saw a lot of play actually out of Naban. Naban was like pretty good. Saw a lot of play out of Chalice of the Void. We did also see some play out of Mox Amber. Sorry, Sig, River Cutthroat. We didn't see any play out of you. Just absolutely nothing. We saw a little bit of play out of the River Guide and how it played pretty well with Mox Amber. But unfortunately, still, even with Mox Amber helping us ramp into using that ability, it's really hard to use that ability. Like, if you want to use it, then your opponent can just in turn activate or like just play a removal spell in response. I would say it was really close to being really good in game 1 of that Martyr control matchup because we could protect it and attack into our opponent and then play with Ghostly Prison. I would say Sig River Guide was very good in that matchup. Unfortunately, we bricked on a land or Mox Amber for many draw steps. We couldn't get that 6th land to make a big impact. So, unfortunately, we didn't see the full value of the River Guide, but we got to see some play out of it. Sorry, we didn't see any play out of Damping Sphere, did not get the matchups for it. And we did play against a Storm deck, but they just folded to our Relics and our Chalice of the Voids. So, I hope that was really exciting. If you love this, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're going to thank all my patrons supporting me on Patreon, and we're going to thank our sponsor, themanabase.com. This has been Nikachu and his brother playing Mox Amber Merfolk in Modern.